Last year, OKC had 7 games above the 5th seed.
Yes.
They were a better team in the regular season.
Yes.
We all can agree. They were also the healthier team in the regular season. Y'all forget that in the regular season.
I'm not forgetting
the
that.
healthier team, usually, we saw 2 years before, Sacramento, one of the healthiest teams in the league.
Sure.
They were a, 2 seed, 3 seed, or what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so OKC had 7 games above Dallas. Playoff time, matchups, schematically, 7-game series. When the fuck did OKC lose? They lost in the second round. So that's 7 games above them in the regular season. That shit doesn't matter.
Okay.
I say this.
Are we talking about last year or this year?
Listen.
Do they have Caruso and Hartenstein last year?
OKC got better. OKC got better this year.
Shit.
Dallas also got better this year. So I don't give a fuck how many games
get better? Did they?
Why did they?
They don't have perimeter defense.
But they got better at shooting, right? Why did they lose the finals, Drew? Why?
They were simply inferior.
They couldn't hit what?
No, they were inferior. They were inferior.
But what percentage did PJ Washington shoot? Derek Jones
what did he shoot in the Western Conference
My point,
Finals?
they couldn't. They still, but Luka just dominated them.
Hey, what did Clay shoot in that playing game?
What playing game?
Yeah, over fucking 10.
Clay was ass in a 1-game series.
Yeah, but now
What are we talking about?
He's gonna have a lot of spacing.
The reason why
we don't know basketball.
The
right
reason
now.
why they
You're
lost
chatting as
Boston.
if they're not. OKC is not drastically better this season.
And so is Dallas.
Drastically is a blatant lie.
They were just a fucking 5th seed. And, yo, bro.
is Klay Thompson not a massive upgrade over Derrick Jones Jr.?
He doesn't even know.
He's a better shooter for sure.
No, I think it's a
He's a
massive
better
upgrade.
player.
Defensively,
It's not close.
it's not close.
Derrick Jones
Defensively,
is
they were
not
the best.
close.
Yeah, but
Defensively,
Najee
they're
Marshall
Klay
and
Thompson's
Derrick
a
Jones
bad
Jr. is
defender.
close.
I'm gonna tell you.
No,
This is
he's
gonna show
not.
me exactly
He's
if y'all
not.
watch. Klay
Just said
Thompson's a
he's
bad
not.
defender.
I just
said
He's still a
he's
good
a better
defender.
defender.
By how much?
is.
I mean, he was their best perimeter defender
He's
last year.
bro,
If
his
Klay
Klay-
Thompson is your best perimeter
He's
defender,
a better 3-point shooter
Yes,
by
by a lot,
far.
by a lot,
And he's still
by
a
a
good
lot.
defender. That is a fucking upgrade from even PJ Washington, who was getting significant
He's
minutes
gonna
for
get
them.
more minutes again.
Najee Marshall
He's gonna
is
get
a
more
better
minutes again.
defender than both. Not both. Excuse me. He's a better defender than PJ Washington.
It's close to Derrick Jones Jr. though.
Yeah, for sure. You mean to tell me Klay Thompson, who's a much better three-point shooter than Derrick Jones Jr., who they leave wide open? Klay Thompson never has gotten wide open shots a day in his life. And he's still a good defender.
Never is a lie.
shit, they were leaving him wide open next.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
10.
They've never.
0 for
and
10?
this is I know you guys don't watch basketball. They never, ever leave Klay Thompson wide open. No matter how many shots he misses, he could go 0 for 30. Klay Thompson is still getting that. He's still getting this.
It's Klay Thompson.
So
yes.
he's a massive upgrade over Derrick Jones Jr. And we are sitting here acting like Dallas didn't get drastically better, which is the team who beat. Not only did they beat OKC, they washed Minnesota. Washed them. Like they beat them in 5 games.
with
The
you.
team
And Luka
who
was
beat
unhealthy.
Denver.
Am I here talking about Minnesota?
What? Why are we?
Am I here talking about Minnesota at all?
We should talk about Minnesota because that was a preview.
Facts.
So
I do
Minnesota.
think Minnesota wins over 52
Yes,
games. by the
I
way.
think Minnesota, we kind of previewed them.
ridiculous.
I think they're going to get much better. Now, this is an interesting conversation. I know Denver's next on this projection thing, but we're on this subject of the Dallas Mavericks. Their projection is 49.5. And I do think the Mavericks are getting underrated. I think they're getting
Do you
drastically
think they're going
underrated.
to win less than 49 games?
That's just so fucking funny to hear.
Oh,
It's
'cause
just
FanDuel
funny to hear,
knows both.
especially after this guy just fucking screamed and yelled at me
No, he was
to
yelling.
hear them have less wins.
I do think they're drastically better, though.
Drastically
49 and a
better.
half, I
is-
mean, that's...
I think they're underrated. I
Time
think
out.
this win total is disrespectful to the Mavericks.
I
if I'm
think
being
so
honest.
too. I think they
It's
will win more.
FanDuel.
I just thought it was funny.
I
I'm just hearing
understand what you're saying.
irony in
Yeah,
there.
It's just when I'm
50
looking
wins
at the
is
Mavericks, this is how I look at it. Luka Doncic was by far and away the best player in the playoffs.
Not even close.
And he was hurt.
Same didn't do it in the finals.
I know, but he was hurt. Derek Lively now gets
He
better.
didn't
You
look hurt in the WCF.
I know he didn't, but that's just a testament to how great Luka is, though. He can dominate like that. He can dominate in
You
that
know what
way.
I mean? Like, he didn't look hurt in WCF, but now in the finals
When
again,
he was
he was
putting out
hurt.
40 balls, he was 100%.
In WCF, he looked great.
No, I
Yo,
never-
Luka's one of them ones.
When Luka was dominating WCF, I always acknowledged that he was hurt. And every other game, he went into those games as a questionable because he had a legitimate injury. It wasn't a fake injury. And I heard people say it was a fake injury. Luka was
Say it
really
was
hurt.
fake. It wasn't just enough to
Just
keep him out of
played
the
in the
game.
Olympics.
Yeah,
like
because
8
he's a
days later.
competitor and he's not gonna sit out
I'll be honest,
in a
he couldn't
conference
miss a playoff
finals.
game.
No,
Look,
you can't.
Kobe Bryant broke his hand and
I'm
still
with
played in
you.
the
I mean,
playoffs.
of course,
So
Kobe.
a competitor is gonna still compete in those
Don't
high
disagree
stake
at all.
moments. I just look at the Dallas Mavericks. When Daniel Gafford got to the team in PJ Washington, this was a completely different team. A 60-win pace
sure.
type of team. Kyrie Irving, Luka, you add Klay Thompson, who now you can't just help off of Luka on those wings all the time, or else he's going to kick it out to an elite 3-point shooter. Derek Lively improves. Daniel Gafford's now there for a full offseason. I think the addition of Najee Marshall is really good. I think the Mavericks are getting underrated. 49.5 win total to me was kind of disrespectful. And I looked at the Mavericks finals odds.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful.
What are their odds?
This is a team that just went to the NBA finals and they did it in dominant fashion with their star player being hurt. I know that for a fact these teams have better finals odds than the Mavericks. The Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks, the OKC Thunder, Minnesota, Denver, the Bucks. I know for a fact all those
Philly
6
too, or
teams
no?
have. I have to check. That's on FanDuel.
Why do they have Minnesota over them?
The Dallas Mavericks.
Minnesota's a good team.
But like four
Over
of those
them
teams,
is crazy, but
4 of
they're a
those
good
teams
team.
feel okay.
The Dallas Mavericks to me, I
OKC,
feel like are being
was it?
underrated
Boston, Knicks.
because they
49 was nuts.
Knicks
yes,
is tricky.
because I
But
think
it's just there's less competition in the
they
East.
could very well be representing the West again. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Celtics
no-
Mavericks rematch.
Yeah, it's just historically it's tough to go back to back. I mean, obviously not win it, but just even going back to back, it's tough to do. I think that's probably what they're taking into account. But 49.5 does seem pretty low. The team got better, I think, right? Adding Klay Thompson, adding Najee Marshall, they undoubtedly got better. Drastically, where all of a sudden they're like the runaway #1 seed in the Western Conference. I don't know if they got drastically better. I still worry just about the perimeter defense. Najee's solid. Klay Thompson's not a bad defender by any means, but Derrick Jones Jr. he changed the team last year. Like, better for work. Like, he changed the team last year as a guy, as a minimum signing who came in and was a godsend for this team. Going on that second half run, of course, having PJ and Gafford picking them up at the deadline was huge, but Derrick Jones Jr. was a huge part of this run as well. So I don't want to just like look over the fact because you added in some other guys. But no, this Mavericks team should be great again, right? Derek Lively's getting another year. We know what you're getting with Kyrie and Luka Doncic, and the surrounding pieces should be better than what it was last season.
So the Bucks aren't ahead of them, but the Sixers are.
Okay.
So the Mavericks right now, their odds.
When Embiid plays, they're on like a 55 win pace.
Yeah, their odds are plus 1,100. 1,100. Denver, Minnesota, Philly, New York, OKC, and Boston are all ahead of them.
What's Boston's odds? I'm curious.
Plus 320, and the second closest is OKC at plus 650.
Damn.
Vegas thinks the
Celtics are going to 2-peat. That's what
I was
they
going to
think.
say Vegas thinks
Thinks
that
the
OKC is
OKC
championship
yes,
or bust.
they do think that.
I don't care about Vegas.
To me, I do feel as if Derrick Jones Jr. was a loss, but I think Najee Marshall replaces almost all of that. I think he's not as agile in the perimeter, but I think he's a better weak side defender, and he's going to be huge in those matchups. And last year, he shot a career high from 3. So he's somebody that if that trajectory keeps improving, then that's another shooter
What about
added
the
to
bright
Dallas.
lights?
I mean, that's a possibility, but Derrick Jones Jr. didn't shoot well
just
outside of a
fucking
couple
around.
games.
Just fucking
No, I know.
around.
I just think the Mavericks, even with losing Derrick Jones Jr., I think they got so much better, even with that loss.
They got better.
I think they're going to be a great team. I've done enough shit talking to Dallas Mavericks. They shut me up a lot. They are a great team. Obviously, Luka Doncic one of the best in the game. Kyrie Irving come playoff time, though, we haven't seen him play consistent basketball since his time with LeBron James in 2016. Come playoff time, obviously he had some pretty high highs, but at the same time the lows were pretty low, and especially in that Boston series where he was basically a no-show the entire time. So that's kind of where my reservation stems from with the Dallas Mavericks and their defense. But of course, if Klay Thompson can turn back the clock and be Klay Thompson in terms of being an efficient scorer, can give you that level of defense. Najee Marshall comes in and now replaces that Derrick Jones defense. Now PJ Tucker apparently been working on his offensive game, working on some mechanics. How is he going to look this upcoming year? I think Derek Lively is going to be amazing.
PJ Washington.
That's what I meant.
Oh, you said Tucker.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Sorry. PJ Washington, thank you very much. Derek Lively is going to be even better than he was last season. And Daniel Gafford, that 1-2 punch, that's one of the best big duos in basketball. So I think they're going to be great. I think they will have more than 49 wins. But again, when it comes to the grand scheme of things, I still see other teams, one team in particular, superior to them.